Welcome to the video, and in today's video, I'm going to be predicting every NBA team's records. This is based on win total throughout the season. You can see the tiers above: 50 plus wins, 40 to 49 wins, 30 to 39 wins, or 29 or under wins. All 30 NBA teams, I'm going to give you guys my opinion. If you didn't see the division standings predictions, then go look at that. I posted that a little bit ago. Now we're doing the actual prediction of how many wins each team's going to get. Before we get into the video, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new and enjoy the content, because we're posting daily bangers and you don't want to miss out. So please make sure to subscribe, turn on those post notifications so you don't miss out on when I upload next. And without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So the first team we are going to be predicting the record of is the Orlando Magic. I have the Orlando Magic winning 37 games. Again, their team is definitely a young team, so they're not going to be in that playoff tier yet. But I do like the confidence. I do like the potential they have. They have a lot of good players. I love Paolo, Franz, and Anthony Black. They have a really, really good young team. Unfortunately, though, they don't have a lot of veterans to really lead that team, and they don't have enough star power. I like Paolo and Franz, but that's not enough just to carry them to a playoff team yet. So 37 wins for the Orlando Magic. Next up, we have the Dallas Mavericks. In my opinion, the Dallas Mavericks are going to win 42 games. Dallas Mavericks are, I think they actually are going to be a playoff team this year, or at least a play-in team. I think they're going to be a play-in team. Again, they have Luka and Kyrie. That's an insane superstar duo. The big worry is the depth, but I do like what you guys did in the draft and what you did in the offseason. I think he's had a great offseason, so I like the direction the Mavericks are going in. They just need some more players in their front court to help them out, in my opinion. Next up with the Denver Nuggets. In my opinion, Denver Nuggets is going to have the best record in the entire NBA. I got them winning 59 games. The Nuggets are just an absolute insane team. As long as they don't do what they did last time and try to just go pretty average the rest of the season with 10 games left, if they can keep on a good pace, I think they can easily win 50 plus games. I have them winning 59 games. I mean, you got the who should have been MVP 3 times in a row, Nikola Jokic. I think he kind of got snubbed, but whatever. You got the NBA Finals behind your back already. You got Jamal Murray, MPJ, Aaron Gordon. You have so many great players. This team's loaded with depth as well. I had the Nuggets winning 59 games. Next up, we had the Detroit Pistons, and they were the least win team last year, but I do have them taking a bit of a step forward, but not a lot. I have them winning 26 games. They're still going to be in the 29 category. The thing with the Pistons is I love the potential of them. If Cade can stay healthy and their whole team can play together, they have one of the best young cores in the NBA. Again, the big problem is they don't have a lot of veteran leadership. They don't have a lot of great players. I think Cade and Ivy are a good start, and Jalen Duren and Ausar Thompson. They had a pretty good offseason as well. They just need to start performing a little bit better for expectations, in my opinion. But I think they're right on their way to be a playoff team, maybe in a couple years. Next up, we have the New Orleans Pelicans, and I'm going to put the New Orleans Pelicans at 39 wins. I like the Pelicans team a lot. I think I won't rank them, but you'll see my win total. I won't rank them based on the team, but the Pelicans, I do like their team a lot. I think they have a lot of good potential. I do see the future in the Pelicans. The problem is of course Zion's health, and that's going to be the big problem throughout his whole career in New Orleans. It's going to be his health, because his health is a big value to if the Pelicans make the playoffs or not, because he is the biggest part of that Pelicans franchise. Yes, I like Brandon Ingram and like CJ McCollum, but without Zion, it's kind of a waste, and I think there'll be another play-in team. But if Zion can stay healthy, I could see him as a 45-win team. Next up, we have the Brooklyn Nets, and I have the Brooklyn Nets winning. I have them being on the fringe of the play-in and winning 40 games. On the fringe, which is interesting to say that, because I think the Pelicans are also, the Pelicans are my 10th seed in the West at 39 wins, and the Nets are my 10th seed in the East at 40 wins. I like the Nets roster. I like Mikal. I like Nick Claxton. Again, last year their division placement was solely based on before Kyrie and Katie left, but they still kind of carried on, and Mikal Bridges turned into an absolute superstar at the end of the year. I like what they did in the offseason as well. I think their team's looking a little bit better. Dinwiddie, Mikal, Nick Claxton. I like the young depth of their team. I'll put them at 40 wins. Next up, we have the Atlanta Hawks, and I have the Atlanta Hawks winning. I have them winning 42 games. I think they're gonna have a little. It's the Hawks. They're gonna always stay kind of consistent. They're never really gonna. They're always gonna be a play-in team. They just haven't made moves this season. If they can somehow get a Joel Embiid or a Pascal Siakam, then they're gonna be higher. But right now, with how their team is it's looking the exact same from last year. And last year they were a play-in team, so I think they're gonna stay that play-in team. I like Trey. I like Dejounte, but unfortunately, they need to add some more depth, especially in that front court. Next up with the Indiana Pacers, I have them taking a huge leap this season, and I have the Pacers winning 43 games. I think they're going to be better than the Hawks. I think they're going to be a solid playing team. They probably will make the playoffs too. Love Tyrese Halliburton, Miles Turner. I think that, and Jarris Walker in the draft, I think they had a really good offseason. And I think that combo, especially, dude, Tyrese Halliburton's so underrated. He was so incredibly good last year as a playmaker and as a scorer, volume wise. And I think the Pacers are easily gonna be a play-in team and not just gonna make a big step forward from last year. Next to the Minnesota Timberwolves, I have them having a pretty big downgrade, and I have them winning 38 games. Not even gonna be a play-off team. Not even gonna be a play-in team. I have them taking a big step down. I like Amp, but unfortunately, Cat's probably gonna want to request a trade. And although you got Naz Reid to a big extension, then how's your team gonna look? Is Naz Reid gonna start? But is he gonna play the power forward? How's that actually gonna look? And I think Rudy Gobert gets injured too much. I like Ant, but otherwise in that team, there's a lot of concerns, there's a lot of worries. And, in the locker room with Rudy Gobert and Kyle Anderson, what happened at the end of last year, there's a lot of concerns. So I'm going to put him at the 30. I'm putting him at the 30. Where did I put him at? At the 38 win mark. I think that's pretty fair. Next up, we have the New York Knicks, and I have the Knicks winning. I have them winning 44 games. I think the Knicks are going to have a pretty good, solid, big year. I like the Knicks roster. I think they have a really solid roster again. I don't think they're going to win as much as they did last year because last year was a surprise. But, you got Dante DiVincenzo in the offseason. You got Jalen Brunson. You got Julius Randle. You got Mitchell Robinson. You got RJ Barrett. A lot of weapons. Again, it's a team like the Nets kind of as well where it's nobody that super stands out, but a lot of really, really solid players that can work well together. And Brunson was amazing last year, so I'll give him respect. 44 wins for the Knicks. Next up, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, the Cavaliers winning 52 games. They're going to have a big step this year. I really do like the Cavaliers team. The team is just so good as long as their front court can play well. In Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, especially in clutch situations, because they weren't able to do that last year in the playoffs. But, dude, Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and Jared Allen, that's going to be a deadly force. And they got some shooters in the offseason as well. I do like their team a lot. I have them winning 52 games. Big year for the Cavs. Next to the Miami Heat, I also have them having a big year. I have them getting 47 wins and being the 4th seed in the East. I like this Heat team a lot. I don't think they're going to get 50-plus wins because it's the Heat. They always more shine in the playoffs than anything else. But if they can somehow get Damian Lillard, they will. This is me assuming that they have Damian Lillard because that's where he wants to go. But unfortunately, the Trailblazers just don't want to trade him right now. But if they can get Damian Lillard, this is definitely where they'll be. If they don't get Damian Lillard, maybe they're more of a playing team that just does what they always do and just goes crazy in the playoffs. But I still like this team a lot, even without Dame, Jay Butler, Bam. And the young guys really stepped up last year, like Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, and Caleb Martin. Their team is really, really good. Next to the Washington Wizards, yeah, this is going to be the worst record in the league by far. The Wizards are going to win 18 games. There's no way to say it. Their best players are Jordan Poole, Corey Kispert, and Deni Avdija. That is not a good squad at all. There's no Kyle Kuzma. There's no players in their team that look like they're going to become a star. Unless Jordan Poole can become Jordan Poole in the 2022 finals. Otherwise, bro, they're going to be trash this year. And I have the Wizards getting 18 wins. Next up, we have the Toronto Raptors. And I have the Raptors having a bit of a better year than last year. Not amazing, but a bit better year. I am winning 43 games. It depends on if Scottie can return to his rookie form. They still have great pieces like Siakam, and OG, and Scottie. They did lose FEV, but they also got Dennis Schroeder. So their team is definitely looking good. Gary Trent as well. Their team is definitely have pieces. They just got to make sure that they stay healthy. And they need Scottie Barnes to return back to his rookie form because he had a struggling year last year. Next, we have the Golden State Warriors, and I have the Golden State Warriors winning 51 games. I think their team's going to do a little better than last year. I think the addition of Chris Paul is going to help. I think Chris Paul is a little overrated, but I think Chris Paul is going to add a better piece than Jordan Poole to the bench. And, with his playmaking ability, he'll supply more of a better bench role than I think Jordan Poole would. I think Jordan Poole needs that star look, while I think Chris Paul can work with those bench players like Kuminga, like Moody, and work them into making them better players. And I think if you look at our stats last year, the starters did their job. The starters had a better point differential throughout the season against the other team starters. It was the bench that really sold them, and I think Chris Paul will help that. So I'll put him at 51 wins. Next up, we got is the Utah Jazz, and I have the Utah Jazz winning. I have the Utah Jazz winning 33 games. Utah Jazz are definitely going to step down. I think last year was a big wake call of how good they did. But unfortunately, you got Laurie and you got Jordan Clarkson, and then Who else do you got? You got Walker Kessler. That's actually pretty good. Those three players are all I can really think of. I mean, obviously you got more players, obviously, but I'm just saying I don't think that this Jazz team has enough depth. I don't think they have enough star players behind those three to really get it done. So I'm putting them at 33 wins. Next up, we have the Houston Rockets. Now the Houston Rockets being the worst team in the West at 27 games. I actually Rockets. I actually do like the Rockets team a lot. I love what they did in the offseason with Fred VanVleet, getting Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks. I know that they paid him a lot, but I still think it's worth it to get that veteran leadership. I also love them getting what they did in the draft with Cam Whitmore and then Thompson. The thing is, though, they were so trash last year. Are they really going to become that much better? And I don't think FVV and Dylan Brooks is enough leadership. That's not Dylan Brooks. I don't think they have enough leadership right now to really guide them to be a better win team. I think in the future they're making the right steps, but unfortunately right now I still have them being the worst team in the West because they didn't make enough moves in my opinion, or not enough moves to be great right now. But I think that the moves that they made are making them great for the future. Next will be the Boston Celtics. I have the Boston Celtics being the best team in the East, and I have them winning 56 games. The Celtics are still a powerhouse, in my opinion, and they got even better in the offseason with the addition of Kristaps Porzingis. Yes, you do lose your playmaking and Marcus Smart, but then you have Derek White, and Derek White's super underrated. Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. You got, you go Porzingis at the 4, and then you can have Robert Williams at the 5, and you have a great bench, including Al Horford and I'm blanking on names. Malcolm Brogdon as well. Like this team is loaded with talent. We hopefully they don't have a playoff failure, but this is just about the regular season. I think they're gonna have a great regular season. I had the Celtics being first in the East and winning 56 games. Next up with the Sacramento Kings, and the Sacramento Kings winning 44 games. I don't think they're gonna have as good of a year this year. I think they're gonna slide right at the 5 slot, but I think they're gonna have another good year. I like De'Aaron Fox. I like Domantas Sabonis, even though Sabonis kind of sucked in the playoffs. You got guys like Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter. Like I really do like this team. And Harrison Barnes, they also extended. I just don't know. I think they're going to have a bit of a drop off because I think last year was a surprise year, and I think they're going to drop off a little bit. But I still think they're going to be a good team, and they're going to be a playoff team. Next is the Oklahoma City Thunder, another team that I think is going to have a big, big year. I have the Thunder going to be winning 40 games. Like, again, the Thunder, I don't think they're going to be anything short of insane or amazing. But I think that the team itself has a very, very bright future. So I'll put them at 40 wins, even though I think in the coming future, they're going to be more into that 45 to 50 range. But right now, I mean, their team's so young and so talented, and there's so much potential with them. So I'll put them at 40 wins, and I have them being a playing team. Next up, the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Milwaukee Bucks one shy of the Celtics at 55 wins. The Bucks, I don't care what you say about how they did in the playoffs. They're still loaded. You still got Giannis. You still got Chris Middleton. You still got Drew Holiday. This team is still loaded. It's a loaded powerhouse. The problem, again, we always think about with the Bucks is injuries. That's one thing because Chris Middleton always gets injured. It seems like Drew Holiday gets injured quite a bit, and same with Giannis, at least in the playoffs last year. That's the one thing. But the Bucks are still, they're all healthy. They're still great. They're gonna be my second seed in the East at 55 wins. Next for the Portland Trailblazers, I had the Trailblazers winning 30 games, just being on the cusp of that 29 and 30 range. Again, the Trailblazers, like, they're probably going to lose out on Dame most likely. And, you got Anthony Simons, Scoot Henderson, Shaedon Sharpe. Again, a very, very good young core, and I like the young core a lot. But unfortunately, you don't have enough players where you can say, yes, they're going to be a playoff team yet. I just don't think they're in that position yet to be winning. But I still like their team a lot, so I'll put them at 30 wins. I think they have potential, but right now, they're just too young. Next, we have the Los Angeles Clippers, and I have the Clippers winning 43 games. Clippers have a really, really solid roster. I do like this team a lot. I think they have potential. It's just, it's another thing about health. You got Kawhi, who always gets injured. Paul George, which he's great, but he can't carry your team if Kawhi's not there. Russell Westbrook looked really, really good at the end of the year, but who knows how long that will last. There's a lot of question marks with this team, but it's definitely an older team, but there's a lot of good young players. And you got guys like Zubac to back them up. And I really do like Zubac, Norman Powell. Like, there's definitely some potential in that team. It's just health is the main concern, but I'll still make them a playoff team. Next to the Charlotte Hornets, I have the Hornets winning 32 games. I think they're going to have a bit of a step up. You got Brandon Miller now. You got LaMelo Ball hopefully being healthy now. Like, their team definitely is going to be better than last year, but I just don't think they're going to be that good either. I don't think they're in a position yet to be even a play-in team yet. I think they're still bottom in the East. Not bottom, but like in the bottom tier in the East. They just don't have enough good guys, and there's a lot of injury concerns as well there. Next, we have the Los Angeles Lakers, and I have them making a big, big splash. I loved how they did in their offseason. I had the Lakers winning 46 games. Lakers are definitely going to make a huge splash this season. I think they're going to have a big season. Guys, like extending Austin Reeves was definitely the biggest priority, and they were ended up doing that. You still got LeBron, AD, Austin Reeves. Like the talent there is endless, and you made some good signings, getting like Gabe Vincent and Jackson Hayes. So this team's definitely going to look better, I think, than last year, for at least for the regular season standards. Next to the San Antonio Spurs, obviously they got Wemby. Can't rank them too highly though because it's the first year. Wemby isn't gonna legitimately make them a playoff team right away. I have the Spurs winning 34 games. Definitely again a huge step up from last year of winning. I don't even know how many they won last year. It was a very very low amount, but they're definitely gonna have an upgrade year. But Wemby is not gonna get him to a playoff team yet. I do like their other teams. I like Devin Vassell, I like Kellen Johnson, and Jeremy Sohan's gonna be good. I like the moves that they made this offseason. I think they had a really good offseason, and getting Wemby is obviously the most important thing. But I just don't think Wemby's gonna make him a playoff team just yet. But obviously in the future they'll be a playoff team. Next up we have the Memphis Grizzlies, and I'm gonna have the Grizzlies winning. I have the Grizzlies winning 40 games. They're going to have a big drop off this year. I still have them winning in that 40 win margin, but they're going to have a big drop off here. And the reason why is because Jaw's going to be out for a third of the season. Like, he's going to be out for a while, and Dillon Brooks is now gone. And as much as everyone hates Dillon Brooks, he's still a solid player. But, like, now you got Desmond Bane, you got Marcus Smart, which you got in the trade. You lost Tyus Jones, but then you also got Triple J. A lot of injury concerns there, and not having Jaw is the reason why I'm putting them so low. I still think they're going to play-in team, and I think they might make a push in the playoffs because they will have Jaw back. Jaw just needs to stop doing stupid stuff. That's as simple as that. Next up with the Chicago Bulls, and now the Chicago Bulls winning 39 games and just missing out of the playoff spot. I mean, the Bulls, my big thing with them, they did not make any moves this offseason. They kept paying the guys that they already have, and last year they were not that good. If they wanted to make a push, they needed to make more moves, and they haven't made any moves yet. So I can't really rank them that highly. I just can't predict them to have a huge, big win record because they haven't done anything this offseason. And last year they weren't that good, so why would this year they be any better? Next up, we have the Philadelphia 76ers. I had the 76ers winning 45 games. I think the 76ers, it just depends, honestly. Like, James Harden's going to leave. If Joel Embiid's gone, they're in, like, the 30-win tier, in my opinion. But right now, Joel Embiid's still on the team, so I have to rank him with Joel Embiid on the team. Even with James Harden requesting a trade, it's probably going to end up leaving. You still got Embiid. You still got Tobias Harris. Max, he's going to be a good guard. And you still got the talent there. It's just, like, losing Harden's a big, big miss. And now you had the MVP on your team, but that's about it. I don't see them having a huge, huge year like they did last year. And last but not least, we have the Phoenix Suns. Now the Suns winning 53 games. Again, the big trio. We'll see how it works out. You got KD, you got Bradley Beal, you got Devin Booker. Like the trio is going to be an interesting trio. We don't know how it's going to be. The big three has not been working since like the Heat in 2012 with Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, and LeBron James. But this team still got a ton of talent, and he's still got the number one pick, DeAndre Ayton, who I think is still a little bit underrated because everyone over hates him, but he's not that good either. But yeah. I mean, this team's still really, really good. I had them being the second seed in the West because I think the talent there is just enough where I can say respectively that I think they're gonna be the second team in the West. But there's a lot of concerns with them too because I don't know how it's gonna play out. I'm not gonna lie to you. And that's me predicting every single NBA team's win totals or record or wherever you want to say it. I didn't do the losses, but you could figure out what the losses are. It's an 82 game season. I hope you guys all enjoy this video. Leave a like in the video if you enjoy. Subscribe to the channel if you already enjoy the content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!